Assalamualaikum and hi. Today I would like to talk about a topic related to soft skills, that is interpersonal skills, which good personality trait in our life. In an ordered society, for the overall development of the human personality, rights play a very significant role. The rights of the individual are the conditions under which Hayek is able to realize his ideas. That is, the individual can realize his cherished goals only when he has the minimum set of rights. The definition of human rights can be best explained in the words of Lasky as rights, in fact, are those conditions of social life without which no man can seek in general to be himself at his best. In simple terms, rights are the basic conditions of man's good life, which are recognized as such by the legal code of the state. In negative terms, rights are those opportunities, the absence of which deprives man of something essential. According to Lasky, state is known by the rights that it maintains. The realization of rights can only be possible in a democratic state where liberty and equality coexist. Without liberty, the rights of the people cannot be safeguarded. In democratic regimes, the periodic election, alternative party system, free press and independent judiciary are very vital for implementation of the rights. And the citizens have the power to exercise certain rights which the state should not ordinarily curtail. Human rights are international moral and legal norms that aspire to protect all people everywhere from severe political, legal and social abuse. Examples of human rights are the right to freedom of religion, the right to a fair trial when charged with a crime, the right not to be tortured, and the right to engage in political activity. These rights exist in morality and in law at the national and international levels. They are addressed primarily to the governments, requiring compliance and enforcement. The main source of the contemporary conception of human rights is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, United Nations 1948. The philosophy of human rights addresses questions about the existence, content, nature, universality and justification of human rights. According to Bailey Smith, the phrase human rights did not have the same meaning in the period up until the Second World War that it has today. In the 19th century, the influential theory of positivism meant that only state had rights in the international era, in the international arena, because of their legal status as subjects of international law. On the other hand, since individuals were merely objects of international law, they were denied any international legal recognition of their rights, so that the nation treated its own citizens as being a matter which came exclusively within the state's domestic jurisdiction. Insofar as a state had any international obligations to individuals, it was only required to treat its non-national in accordance with certain international minimum standards. Nevertheless, even here, these were merely obligations which were owed to the state whose nationality the aliens possessed, rather than being obligations to the non-national themselves. He further opines that traditionally there were only a few exceptions to this rule, that international law didn't concern itself with the rights of individuals. First, the prohibition of slavery was recognized as a rule of customary international law and was reaffirmed in a number of international conventions in the 19th century. Second, similar rules were introduced to outlaw the international trafficking in women and children. Thirdly, under the Geneva Convention 1864, there was a requirement that wounded and sick combatants, to whatever nation they may belong, shall be collected and cared for, and this formed the basis of the contemporary rules, humanitarian law, which regulate warfare. Fourthly, there was an acceptance of early international lawyers that, in extreme circumstances, a state could intervene to prevent another state persecuting its own nationals. Humanitarian intervention. As human beings, we are not perfect. We have weaknesses, but we can improve our weaknesses by upgrading our skills in human rights. That's all from me. Assalamualaikum and bye.